Have your critical alerts just gone silent? Are the notifications from your servers, your security systems, or your automated equipment suddenly not showing up as text messages anymore? If you've been pulling your hair out trying to figure out what on earth broke, trust me, you are not alone. So let's break down exactly what happened and, more importantly, how you can fix it. For years, a lot of us used this really clever workaround, right? You'd send an email to a special address, like a phone number at vtext.com, and boom, a free text message would pop up. Well, that old way, it's officially over. The major carriers have completely shut down that free gateway. It's gone. And look, this isn't just some minor technical hiccup. The shutdown of these free gateways has broken countless automated systems. We're talking about the very systems that businesses, IT departments, and maybe even you relied on for critical, real-time information. So the big question is, why, right? Why would these giant telecom companies suddenly pull the plug on a service that was so incredibly useful and so widely used? Well, it turns out they weren't just trying to make our lives difficult. There were some really serious problems with that old system. And when you look closer, the reasons actually make a lot of sense. First, it was a massive security nightmare. These open gateways were basically a paradise for spammers sending phishing texts, smishing attacks. Plus, the technology was ancient and just couldn't keep up with modern messaging needs. And maybe the most frustrating part for us users, it was just plain unreliable. Messages would get delayed for hours, or sometimes they just wouldn't show up at all. Now, this isn't just an inconvenience. It has real, sometimes severe consequences. When those alerts go silent, the costs can be incredibly high. Let's just walk through a few real-world scenarios to see how high the stakes really are. Okay, imagine you're the IT admin. It's the middle of the night, a critical server goes down. The automated alert goes off, but instead of that text buzzing your phone and waking you up, it just lands silently in your email inbox, buried under who knows how many other messages. By the time you actually see it hours later, the damage is already done. Or what about a manufacturing plant? A key piece of machinery fails. That alert gets missed. Every single minute that machine is offline, the company is just hemorrhaging money. We're talking potentially thousands of dollars. The cost of that one missed alert just skyrockets with every second that takes by. And believe it or not, the stakes can get even higher. In a medical setting, think about a freezer holding life-saving vaccines. It goes outside its safe temperature range. A text message means someone takes action immediately. An email that's seen an hour later, that could mean a catastrophic loss and a direct risk to people's health. And one last example, security. An industrial door alarm gets tripped after hours. If that notification is a text, security is there in minutes. If it's an email, well, the whole facility and everything inside it is left vulnerable until someone decides to check their inbox the next morning. Okay, so we've established this is a huge, serious problem. But the good news, thankfully, is that the fix is surprisingly simple. There's now a drop-in replacement that solves this for everyone. Yep, dedicated services have popped up to fix this exact issue. One of them, emailtext.me, has a mission that just says it all. Send an email that arrives in seconds as an SMS text message. Simple as that. And here's why this is the perfect solution. First, it's universal. It doesn't care if your recipient has Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T, so you can finally stop trying to track everyone's mobile provider. It's designed to be a perfect drop-in replacement, and best of all for a lot of us, you don't need any complex APIs or a developer to get it running. All right, that sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? Let's take a look at just how ridiculously straightforward this whole process is. So you're probably thinking, okay, here's the catch. This has to be super complicated to set up, right? I'm going to have to completely overhaul my system. Actually, it's the total opposite of complex. It is literally a two-step process. Step 1, your automated system sends an email, just like it always has. Step 2, the service catches that email and instantly turns it into an SMS text message that gets delivered to the person's phone. That's it. Seriously. And when we say drop-in replacement, we really, really mean it. All you do is go into your system settings, find that old address, the 555 whatever at vtext.com, and you just swap it with the new one, the same number at emailtext.me. Nothing else in your setup has to change. Okay, so that covers the how. Now let's dive into some of the practical questions that are probably popping into your head right now about cost, security, and all those little details. Let's just get right to the elephant in the room. The old way was free. This new, much more reliable way is not. So what's it going to cost you? Well, the cost per message usually lands somewhere between 3 to 4 cents, depending on your volume. So for most businesses that are just sending low-volume critical alerts, this typically works out to an annual cost of about $1,000 to $2,000. All right, so if you're paying for it, you need to know it's professional grade, right? So how does a service like this handle security and all the legal red tape that comes with sending text messages? It's built for business. Messages can only be sent from your specific, verified from email address, which means random people can't hijack your account. The service is fully compliant with all the big regulations, like the TCPA. It puts clear opt-out instructions on the messages, and it's run by people who've been in the SMS industry since 2008. They know what they're doing. And let's just knock out a few final details rapid-fire style. Do you need to install any software? Nope. Will the person getting the text see your personal email address? No. They see a professional phone number. And what happens if they try to reply to the text alert? Absolutely nothing. It's a one-way street, designed for notifications only, so replies are just ignored. And all of this brings us back to the real question. Yeah, this new solution has a price tag, but when you weigh that cost against the risk of server downtime or catastrophic equipment failure or a major security breach, you have to ask yourself, what is the true cost of a single missed alert?